Dear students, I welcome you back to the session. And in the previous session, I have explained you about EBIT and EPS analysis, that why we conduct and what is the reason behind conducting the EBIT and EPS analysis. Now let's take the exercise problem and try to understand that how we do the analysis for EBIT and EPS and also for the MPS, okay, that is for your market price per share. So the problem goes like this. Suppose that a firm has an all equity capital structure consisting of 1 lakh ordinary shares of 10 per share. Okay, so here the face value of the share is rupees 10. The firm wants to raise 2,50,000 to finance its investments. The current capital structure is 1 lakh shares. Okay, 1 lakh into 10, so it will be 10 lakh rupees. Okay, so here what is happening? Still, the firm wants 2,50,000 more money to do the investments. So here what we will be doing is to raise this 2,50,000. Which method or which source is the best? Is considering three alternative methods, okay, to select the best sources of fund for to get this 2,50,000. It is considering the three alternative methods for financing. First one is to issue the 25,000 ordinary shares. Ordinary shares is nothing but equity shares at rupees 10 each. And what is the second option? To borrow the 2,50,000 at 8% rate of interest. This is loan. And the third one is to issue the 2,500 preference shares of rupees 100 each at an 8% rate of dividend. So these three alternative options that we have to finance the 2,50,000. Alternative one is 25,000 ordinary shares, and the alternative two is 2,50,000 loan, and the third one is 2,500 preference shares consisting of 100 rupees each. Okay, so now let's see if the firm's earnings before interest and tax, that is nothing but EBIT, after additional investments, after making this 2,50,000 additional investment, if the EBIT comes for 3,12,500 and the tax is applicable to the dividend, okay, interest is applicable to the your debt. So here tax rate is 50%. Find the effect on the earnings per share under three financing alternatives. Because what we do is we select the capital structure which gives the maximum earnings to the equity shareholders. So now we have the three option or the three alternative. Let's see that in which alternative the equity shareholders will be getting the more earning per share and which one is creating more wealth. Okay, so here I have make the four columns like this. First one is particulars, and then equity financing, debt financing, and preference financing. And how much is the EBIT? EBIT will be same for all these three. That's what is mentioned in the problem. If the EBIT and the tax rate is 3,12,500, the EBIT is 3,12,500 for all these three alternatives. Okay, so that's what they're mentioning, and our taxes after additional investments are 3,12,500. So here I'll be taking EBIT has 3,12,500. This is the first step in the problem solving. Okay, so now we all know that once we take the earnings before interest and tax, the first one what we do is we deduct the interest, and then we will be getting earnings before tax or the profit before tax. So in case of equity financing, there is no interest to deduct because interest is charged only on the debt. So next one is debt financing. 20,000 we will be deducting the interest. And how do you get this 20,000? On 2,50,000, 8%. Here they are telling 2,50,000 at 8%. On 2,50,000, 8%, how much you will be getting? 20,000. So 3,12,500 minus 20,000, how much you are getting? 2,92,500. In case of preference, there is no interest, so EBIT remains same. After that, so we should deduct the taxes. Dividend is always taxable, interest is always tax deductible. So here In case of equity financing, obviously the equity shareholders will be getting the dividend. So how much is the tax percentage? We have to deduct the tax, right? Because to get the profit after tax, so how much we should deduct? We should deduct 50% on 3,12,500. If you calculate 50% tax, how much it will go? 1,56,250. And here 1,46,250. And for preference 1,56,250. So how much is the profit after tax available? 1,56,250, 1,46,250 and 1,56,250 respectively for all three alternative investments, alternative available finances. Then less preference dividend, right? First we will be paying to the debt holders or to the outsiders for the loan, and then to whom we will pay? We will pay to the preference shareholders. After making the payment to the debt holders or for the interest, and after making the payment to the preference dividend, and then we go for the payment for the equity, because equity shareholders are the owners of the firm. After paying the external parties, the payment is entitled to the owners. Okay, so here preference dividend is 20,000. How 20,000? Because to issue 2,500 preference shares of 100 each. So how much it will come to? It will come to 2,50,000. On 2,50,000, 8%, it will give you the preference dividend of 20,000. Okay, so next, after deducting the preference dividend, what is left? Let's try to see. After deducting the interest and preference dividend, whatever the amount is available, that is the earnings available to the ordinary shareholders. Ordinary shareholders is nothing but the equity shareholders. How much is available? 1,56,250 and 1,46,250 and 1,36,250. So now when you want to calculate or when you want to find out your earnings per share, how do you do that? First of all, you should know how much is the shares outstanding in the market. So in the problem itself, they told that the shares outstanding, the equity shares outstanding is 1,25,000, and the preference and the debt amount what we borrow is 1 lakh, and in the other cases 1 lakh, right? The ordinary shares outstanding is 1,25,000. How 1,25,000? See, here already the firm is consisting 1 lakh ordinary shares in the capital structure, and when we consider the alternative one, they are planning to issue 25,000 ordinary shares more to get this 2,50,000 rupees, right? In this case, what happens? Here the old existing capital structure is consisting of 1 lakh equity shares, and the new alternative one plan is 25,000 they are planning to issue. So 1 lakh plus 25,000. How many shares are outstanding? 1,25,000 shares are outstanding. In case of alternative 2, that is debt financing, the equity shares remains constant. That is, whatever it is existing 1 lakh shares, it remains constant. In case of alternative 3, that is preference shares, there also your equity shares will be constant. And we all know what is the formula to calculate the EPS. That is earnings available to ordinary shareholders divided by shares outstanding. So 1,56,250 divided by 1,25,000, you will be getting 1.25. So that means that 1 rupee 25 paisa is the earnings per share for the equity shareholders. So here, in case of the alternative 2, the earnings available to the ordinary shareholders is 1,46,250 divided by the number of shares outstanding in the market is 1 lakh. So how much it will come?